How's it going, everyone? Welcome to a review of Incursion Red River. If you haven't heard about it, it's not small, it's not big, but it's kind of somewhere in the middle. It is a pre-alpha early access, so about as early access as it can get legally on Steam. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't really know if I care or not. Um, with that being said, this game is a kind of realistic mil sim type extraction shooter. Currently, it is PvE, so you can play that in single player or multiplayer. And the gameplay you guys are watching right now is the single player. This gameplay I captured was my third deployment in, so I've completed two missions prior. I've extracted successfully and went back out. So right off the bat, what you guys want to know is if you are not a mil sim kind of more realistic FPS person, and you're looking to get this game because you're kind of interested in those types of games, I would say don't get this game yet. Hold off. As this pre-alpha. You got to be pretty into this stuff to, or have a lot of experience with it at least to kind of want to try this out, which is what I did. I'm personally a Escape from Tarkov. I love it. I've got about 800-ish hours in it, and I played other more realistic games as well. So that's just my kind of 2 cents on it. If you're on the fence and you're someone who isn't really into this genre just quite yet, I'd definitely look into other titles to get your, feet wet with the genre. And if you are into milsim, kind of, what everything I just kind of described, you're a Tarkov player, you're whatever. I would, if you're looking to give feedback for it, and you want kind of help this game develop and give the developers feedback, then yeah, I would get it. Otherwise, I would kind of steer clear of it if I'm being honest, because like I said earlier, you'll be able to see it in the top right corner at times if it, the contrast is there. Like I said before, this is pre-alpha, so don't expect too much. However, with that being said, this game does have good bones, got great bones. On screen, you can see it looks great. It's running pretty well for how good it looks. I'm currently getting 50 to 60 frames per second. I run a 1440p monitor, 144 hertz. This game is running on all high settings with Lumen from the new Unreal Engine stuff. So I have the Lumen engine, the Lumen option turned on, reflections and everything set to default. Nothing too crazy, but I'm playing and recording at the same time and getting a very, very stable 50 to 60 frames per second. There's never any point in this game. I put about 90 minutes to 2 hours into this game so far, and at no point during that playtime did my game crash, did frames drop off a cliff, or anything like that. So I have a Ryzen 5700X or 5800X and RTX 3070, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and I also loaded this game up onto a NVMe drive. So in terms of performance on PCs, it's not, my PC isn't the absolute best, but it's pretty good. So I kind of expect smoothness, but with the gaming industry the way it is these days, it's kind of a pleasant surprise when it kind of works. So enough about that. Kind of onto the game. The game looks great. I think the building looks great. Nothing looks too monotonous. I think there's definitely, again, it's pre-alpha, so you can't be too mad at it. There are definitely reused assets here and there that I ran into, and the map's pretty small. And they only have one map out available right now, but of course it's going to change into the future, so it's not something I would worry about. Kind of leans back to my, if this is something you want to help developers develop, if this is a genre you really care about and want to see expanded upon, then go for it. If not, and you kind of want to play video games, just play video games, which is again, obviously totally fine. I would hold off on getting this game. A little other things, as you can see, this is our inventory system. Extremely basic. This is nothing you haven't seen before if you've played any kind of PC game with inventory management in it. This is not new, not reinventing the wheel at all. So if you've played games like Rust or Tarkov, like I said before, you'll feel pretty much at home, like you haven't really skipped a beat. And so also during this review, I kind of want to take into account that I'm not going to be pointing out things that aren't there because this is alpha. This is just things that I've currently played and experienced in the game that I would like to see changed kind of already. So the first thing I kind of want to see changed already is the movement. The movement, as you can see on screen, it looks good, but unless you're actually playing this, you won't get a feel. Me personally, I think the movement feels bad. It kind of feels like Valorant in a way, and I hate Valorant's movement. Like in Valorant, I feel like I'm just a brick sliding across a semi-frictionless surface. I don't feel like I'm a person or even a, like a sentient being. I feel like I would feel better moving as a robot, honestly. But this game, yeah, there's no inertia. There's nothing of that. It just, like I said, it doesn't feel great. It looks good though. So that's something I would like to see improved upon. Another thing I like to see improved upon in this game right now is the lack of enemies, I guess. So there are some areas later in this video, you'll see, if depending on how I cut this up, I do get into kind of a firefight with maybe 4 or 5 enemies, but those 4 or 5 enemies, other than the one I shot in the beginning, are all I see. And I'm not sure if that has to do with how taxing the AI is on the system, and if they're just if it's a lower count right now just for performance sake, which if it is totally fine, but I haven't really seen anything. But I'm also not on Twitter, so maybe they did say something, and I just missed it. So something else I think needs a little bit of work, or maybe it's just me, and this is very just I'm being stupid. But when I opened up the data pad there, that's kind of your navigation to get around the world. It's better than nothing. Like Tarkov drops you in there butt naked and says good luck, like have fun. This at least gives you a attack map, but I think the attack map. I'm not sure if it's just me, but the distances seem a little off. As you see, like there's multiple times where I'm checking for objectives, where I have to like keep triple checking where I'm at, because I feel like my guy is moving further than he should, or not moving as far, or I'm like, wait, how do I get over here? I thought I ran this way. Because there was at least one instance where the attack map said I was somewhere I was most certainly not. And then when I moved out of the area, it recorrected to where I was. But yeah, I think the attack map could use a little bit of work in that regard. And then, this is also pre-alpha, so you see I'm looting everything. Just kind of give you guys an idea of what the loot system looks like. Again, nothing new, nothing groundbreaking that you haven't seen before. However, it's pre-alpha. There's no real loot to go after. Um, yeah, nothing crazy that I saw. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say on the loot system. And this is kind of like this quest I'm currently doing is just marking stuff, kind of like how you'd mark things in Tarkov. And again, I'm going to compare this a lot to Tarkov just because some things are very similar. And if you're a longtime Tarkov player and then you go and inspect a weapon from your inventory or something, it looks like a rip out of Tarkov. I'm going to be completely honest. I opened it and I thought I was playing Tarkov again, which is totally fine. Extracts, they work pretty decently well. No, nothing I really change about it. I think they're fine, not good, not great. But yeah, so back to my earlier remark about the AI and there not being many. At this point in time, I'm just like searching the map to find someone to fight. Because I think taking down enemies in this game is satisfying, and the fact that you feel like, oh yeah, you shot them and then they drop dead, and they drop pretty realistically. It's not like they get ragdolled across the map. They just kind of slump over. With that being said, I will say the AI they need a little bit of work. They don't really react to me shooting someone else unless I actively shoot at them. So as you can see, I'm being shot here from way down there, which is, I mean, fine. It is more realistic game. They can see me. I'm absolutely just out in the open, so it's totally fine. One thing I did notice is I won't really hear them at all though until like I'm right next to them. So they do have voice lines, which is good. Just idle chit chat, dialogue type stuff. Footsteps you don't really hear at all until they're right on you, which is kind of annoying. Also in this pre-alpha, I also noticed there's no way to heal yourself. So after a fight, I had never died once in my 2 hours or hour and a half playing this game. But I also noticed there's no way to heal myself. At least I don't think there was. There's painkillers and adrenaline you could take, and if either of those healed you, I was not aware. It wouldn't make sense if they could heal you anyway, to be honest. But yeah, so I'm out here just fighting. I didn't see any ways to change my gun from semi-auto to fully automatic. Maybe that's just me and I'm just being an idiot. That's one thing I like to see changed. Another thing I like to see changed is get an accurate ammo count while I'm out and holding my gun. So as it stands currently, there is the only way I can see how much ammo is left on my gun is if I open the inventory and check the mag from there, which I would not. I would like to see that changed. It is. I don't need the animation or anything right now. I guess pre-alpha, but just some keybind that will just tell me the count will work for now. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not really much else I really want to cover. I kind of covered everything I wanted to cover because this is, again, pre-alpha, so there's not much to cover. But what's here is good. Like I said, it looks good, runs great. Other than that, that's about all I have to say on the game. I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. This is not a game I'm going to be playing regularly for quite a while. If they ever drop some, big updates, I'll come back and check it out, give my feedback, whether it's on the Steam page or wherever their forums are, or if they have a Discord, things like that. So I'll probably drop my feedback. But as of right now, that's pretty much it. I don't want, if I keep talking, I'm just rambling, as if I haven't been rambling for a while anyway. But yeah, I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this game. It's a good enough game. I would definitely recommend that y'all keep your eyes on it as well. Whether you play it or not, like I said in the beginning, it's kind of a you personal choice. Unless you're really into the stuff, I wouldn't right now. But yeah, that's just me, and I'll see you guys later.